Gentlemen, boys and girls, today we are back in Fortnite, and I'm going to be remaking, or making an update video on a video that I've done previously back in February. And that is, if you aren't aware, I made a video back in February called Why Fortnite Will Never Be the Same. Now, since that video, obviously a lot has happened on Fortnite. And I thought, why not make my update? And another reason that I am going to do that is because I've been seeing some famous YouTubers who's obviously known for their Fortnite gameplay and who's made their content orientated around Fortnite, make their own videos expressing their opinions on Fortnite. Because, similar to me, even the Fortnite YouTubers who get paid to make videos on this game are having complaints about the game. Like, all the ones like Ali A to Lachlan, like they're all making their own videos expressing their opinions on why they think Fortnite is dead. And I watched Ali A's one, I haven't watched Lachlan's, but I think it's probably gonna be similar. But I saw Ali A's video, and he's made a few points that were very similar to the video I made back in February. Now I thought I'd make an updated version and talk about what's happened really since I made that video. Has it really changed that much? Like, probably go into more depth analysis of the issues, and then as well as how they could obviously fix it, because I got a few suggestions on how they could maybe return Fortnite back to its glory. So, but before we get into it, I'd appreciate if you leave a like, subscribe on the way to 600s. And I'm sorry if, like, I've been kind of taking a break. Obviously, it doesn't feel like that because for you lot, it seems like I've been uploading consistently. But this is like the first video I made in ages, so I promise, starting from now, I'll be more with it. But I'm not going to get into that because it's personal. So yeah, let's begin. So, Fortnite. What made Fortnite great? That is probably the question that we should ask before getting into this. Now, if you ask an OG Fortnite player what they thought was good about Fortnite, obviously, apart from the nostalgia and OG, like, comparison, if you could ask them what about the game made it so great, they could say many things. Number one could be the Fortnite story and the events. I think, to begin with, the events back in the day, people actually used to care about what happened in Fortnite. Like, this, when it, either if it was the cube, or the robot v mech, or even the end of chapter 1 event, where the map basically got destroyed, people actually cared about that. Now, if you ask people nowadays about what happened in the last Fortnite event, unless they are Fortnite addicts that are very young and don't play any other games, they might not know, they probably wouldn't know what happened in the last Fortnite event. And that is worrying. Because I think the one unique thing I think Fortnite had over any other game was their live events. The way they performed their live events, and the viewership they had on these live events, and the way they did those live events were very, very different to how other games have done it before, especially in a battle royale game. You don't really be expecting this. And coming from a gamer myself who's played games where they don't really do live events like in Fortnite, this is very impressive. And also the amount of collaborations Fortnite has done is probably more than any other game, from Marvel to DC to Star Wars to, like, even famous content creators, like obviously Kai Cenat, and so on and so forth. Like, it's crazy how far Fortnite has come. But my issue with it regarding the live events is that they are missing what made it great, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is the storyline. Now, what do I mean by storyline? Well, back in the day, you might not know this, because if you're a new Fortnite player, you might not be aware, but they used to have a storyline based on, and they used to have updates every week with making either changes to the map regarding the storyline, or adding new weapons, role-seeing weapons, so on and so forth. And this gave a bit of intrigue because people wanted to know what was going on. People wanted to know how the live event would affect the future of Fortnite with the like with the cube and like how that affects it. What's gonna happen with the cube? What's gonna happen like with the new map? And like the intrigue was what made it so good. I think Fortnite has lost their storyline, and I learned doing a bit of research the main reason why they kind of discontinued the storyline is because the person really behind all the storylines when it comes to Fortnite, Donald Mustard, left like I think a few years back, and he was in charge of the whole storyline premise. And I think as well, I think Fortnite doesn't really understand how important or how good or how beneficial the storyline was actually to their game. Like I think they kind of underestimated what the storyline actually is like for Fortnite players. They kind of think, oh, like if you just throw like big names into it, well, no, even if it makes zero sense, they don't care. Like, don't get me wrong, some of the collabs like Marvel, Star Wars, amazing. I'm a fan of those franchises, but my issue with that being is I want it to make sense. I want there to be a reason why we're getting a Marvel collaboration, why we're getting a Star Wars collaboration. Obviously, it's to appease the fans, but like you need to make it make sense in game as well. Like, for example, I think what they did really well back in the Marvel season in Chapter 2, Season 4 was they had the Marvel collaborations. They had the Marvel skins, and they had Doctor Doom and all that. But the thing about that, the reason why that worked was because it made sense within the story. Doctor with the Galactus, and it paid off with the event. Like stuff like that we don't get nowadays. And I feel like the storyline is a massive part of what made Fortnite great. And honestly, if I could change Fortnite, I think my criticism would be the storyline. And how they could improve on that is to maybe, obviously, when planning the future seasons, try and incorporate a storyline or revive a storyline. Like, I think since Chapter 2, they kind of just forgot about the storyline. Like, don't get me wrong, you could carry on doing concerts and just adding weird stuff that out of nowhere, cool. Do what makes you money, but you just know you're losing fans in the process. And you're probably wondering why they go into games like Roblox now, where games like Grow a Garden or Still a Brain Rot. I don't know how those games are doing crazy, but they are. But Fortnite used to be the top dog in the gaming world. But now you're getting games like Roblox overtaking them. Like, I like Roblox too, but I haven't seen a game that's fallen so far than Fortnite, and it's a shame. It is a shame. Another criticism I'd give to it is the inclusion of bots. Now, don't get me wrong, for the new noobs who get into Fortnite and needs to get used to the game and learn the controls, make it's perfect for them. But for the experienced players like me who's been playing it for years now, I think I don't need to come across bots now. I know how to play against real players. And what I mean by this is the fact that I think the inclusion of bots make it a lot more easier now to play Fortnite and get wins. Like, I remember back in the day when getting a win actually meant something, because normally it'd be more difficult than it actually was to get a win. And you could even see, like, when I got, like, early wins, it used to be, like, gas, because it was so much more difficult back then than it is nowadays. Nowadays, you can hop into a game and you can see that you got like 10 to like probably 70 to like 80% of the players are actual bots. There aren't any actual real players anymore. And I think they need to find a balance. Like, don't get me wrong, I agree. You need to help out the like smaller, the worst players. I understand that. Don't get me wrong, I understand that. But I think for like someone like me who's been playing it for years, I find it's not that satisfying getting a win nowadays. Don't get me wrong, unless it's for a video that's taken me way longer to do, that's the only time I'll be gassed. But generally, if I'm not even doing a video and I'm playing Fortnite and I get a win, it's not like, oh my god, I just got a win, that's crazy. Like, you need to get, when you get a victory out, it has to mean something. Because, like, going against all like, other players also trying to get wins made it a lot more difficult. And because, like, that, it's just, like, and the annoying thing is, the reason why I think Fortnite is so unplayable now, other than videos, is because you got the, like, 80% players bots, and then you got, like, the other 20% sweats who don't get off the game. And that is the worst mix. Like, you don't have anyone who plays it just for fun. You got only bots that Epic ad, or you got the sweats who don't get off the game. Like, the matchmaking is awful when it comes to Fortnite, and that's why I find the game not good. Like, it's true. Obviously, I think another thing is, as well, I believe is, like, wrong with the game, is I think Fortnite should be trying, like, Fortnite should be trying to incorporate new games on creative. Like, the thing with Roblox is, when you see Roblox's biggest games, you got the jailbreaks, you got the Meep Cities, you got the, obviously, the newish ones as well. But, and then you go on to Fortnite's most popular creative maps. Some of those concepts, or some of those games, are legit games from Roblox. Legit, you got Grow a Garden and Steal a Brain in Fortnite, which came from Fortnite. Don't get me wrong, it's cool to obviously have big games on Roblox. I mean, on Fortnite, but isn't it kind of bad that the biggest creative maps on Fortnite is games incorporated from Roblox? Like, I want Fortnite to have their own Steal a Brainwater type game, or, well, not the type game, but like that popular. Like, I remember, like, Fortnite maps used to be so good, whether it be like Death ones or the 1v1 maps, because like Fortnite are only like the only big popular Fortnite maps that are good that you can't really get in Roblox are the 1v1 maps. The Death ones are basically like the Fortnite obbies, and the 1v1 maps are really the only unique games Fortnite has. Unless you want to consider all the things like the Fortnite Squid Game or stuff like that, which is once again copied from Roblox and also Squid Game itself. Like, there's no new original ideas. And obviously I know Fortnite hasn't really got a lot of control over the creators, you know, because obviously it's a community who makes the maps, not really Fortnite. But Fortnite has an opportunity to make it cool. Fortnite has an opportunity to make creative more like Roblox, and I think if they, like, obviously, instead of focusing on just, like, random things, they got an opportunity to do it, and I think, honestly, maybe doing more like, maybe, here's an idea, like how Fortnite do the tournaments of, like, some of the content creators get rewards, maybe you could do something similar, but with Fortnite maps. Like, imagine you get a Nick A30 map where everyone gets to play, and you could possibly win rewards. Like, legit, Roblox doesn't do that. So, once again, if you want to get a point over Roblox, you could do that. And I think that would absolutely do well for the masses. And obviously, it's a bit, like, unfair that all the, like, winning prizes and stuff, you can only really apply to it if you're actually good. But I know that sounds stupid, because obviously, like, you can't let a noob. But it's only, like, fractioning part of your audience. Because if there's a chance for, like, even, like, the worst players to win rewards playing Fortnite, that would be good. Just because it would increase the amount of players who actually would play the game, because they would get a chance to win rewards. But don't get me wrong, obviously the content creators and the good players, Fortnite pros, deserve obviously the rewards. Don't get me wrong, if I was but I feel like they should stop really making those type of things just for those players. I think they should do it for all rounds. But you could see why most of the content creators, you know, like, their viewership drops, like, in Fortnite. Like, some of the content creators that known for Fortnite has moved to other games, or just don't play the game anymore. For example, you remember Fearless? Minecraft was known for Fortnite, just vanished off the platform. Ali A obviously still does Fortnite, but once again, he's got a Roblox channel. Lachlan as well is also not really play the game as much. Also, Laserbeam as well. He's trying to grow his audience outside of Fortnite. Why do you think that is? End of the day, this is just my opinion. I'm sorry if I've upset the masses, but this is just an opinion. Now, what is my overall take? Like, if I had to make to conclude this video, what would it be? Well, is Fortnite dying? The answer is yes. Is there a way Fortnite can do? Is there a thing Fortnite can do to change that? Yes. Will I think Fortnite will do those changes? Probably not. Because obviously I haven't really seen a lot change since I made that video in February. And I think maybe if the bigger Fortnite content creators, maybe like what they're doing now, speak publicly about their opinions, maybe Fortnite would listen. Because you need to remember that audience as well. If they see their favorite YouTuber have something, they will follow the same. I think, honestly, Fortnite's got a lot of things to change. And it is possible for them to change. I don't know if they'll ever get back to the way they was, but I believe if they put their head down, we could see a new Fortnite. A better Fortnite. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the OG Fortnite, and that's probably the only playable game mode. But all the other game modes in Fortnite, even OG, has gone downhill since, you know, we last played. Also, if I could suggest another thing, I think they should need to bring back the LTMs. There's a one-shot, sniper shootout, Royal Rumble, The Royal Rumble, Team Rumble was fine. Solid Gold, few gamers that were pretty cool, in my opinion. I think that would be a cool a thing Fortnite could bring back. Either way, it's just my opinion. If you, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope you understand it's just an opinion and everyone's got their own, so don't get mad. But I'll leave it with this. Fortnite has an opportunity to change. Question is, will they? Yeah. That's up to Fortnite, I guess.